All right. If you guys can hear me, let me know. I might have some audio issues going on right now for YouTube, the YouTube live stream. What's going on? Thank you for joining. Get this. Gonna be answering some lineup questions here. For some reason, my audio isn't working for YouTube. If you're over there, audio's good on IG. Thank you. Appreciate that. AT Wall 2. How we doing, everybody? We ready for week 4? So a lot of stuff to go over today. As far as like ins and out, there was a lot of last second type of. Sorry, there was a lot of in and out. Try to fix this audio. If you're over on YouTube, please bear with me while I get this going. I have no idea why this is not up yet. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Okay. Let's see. Let's get these starting lineup. You wave Dylan Yard. Start Carson or Boyd for my flex. I'm gonna go Chris Carson here. I believe that Chris Carson will have a really good day, and so therefore, against this Arizona Cardinals defense that's giving up a lot to the running backs. I listen. Rashad Penny, to our knowledge, as of right now, is active for this, or should be able to play, but we will see. Let's. I would go with Chris Carson though. All right, T.Y. Hilton out. Yes, he is. He is ruled out. So is Mike Williams. Big Mike Williams also ruled out. Here, let me pull up the list of all the inactives and actives here. Will Fuller or Curtis Samuel for my flex? All right, so this one is actually a great question here, Patel. I've been going back and forth on this all week. I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Curtis Samuel. Here's the thing: Curtis Samuel is going to get a lot of opportunity, and it's whether or not you feel confident in that opportunity. Curtis Samuel is going to be doing a little bit more. He runs more of the route tree, and he seemed to be a good go-to for Kyle Allen. So I would roll with Curtis Samuel here. Go risky with Danny Dimes or stay with Goff. I think you have to go when it comes to this one. You've got to go Danny Dimes. No, or sorry, you don't get cute here. Just go with Goff. Danny Dimes could be a really. I like him as a streamer, but I'm not gonna bench Goff to go with Danny Dimes quite yet. We don't know what a full game without Saquon Barkley is gonna look like. Yes, I totally get it. Washington is not a good team, and that's going to be a high over under. But I have more confidence in Goff going tonight than I do with Danny Dimes. It's a rookie. You're going to get ups and downs, and I would hate to just go off of a one-game thing, a one-game sample size, and tell you to sit Goff over that. Goff is definitely the safer play. I do think Danny Dimes has the higher upside, if that helps. Let's see, Evan Ingram or Mark Andrews, full PPR. I would go Evan Ingram here. Listen, Mark Andrews has not been practicing. He's had a foot injury, or that he's been dealing with. He's been able to manage it, but we really saw that, hamper what he could do last weekend when he, didn't play that well. So, and they got more tight ends involved there. So I would go with Evan Ingram here. It's a great matchup against the Redskins. He'll be used early and often. I'm going Evan Ingram there. Richardson or Darrell Williams, PPR flex. So I was waiting to see on this to see if there was any news as to when. And I don't know if YouTube is even going right now. I was waiting on news to see how Shady looked coming into the game today, right? Like walking in last week, he walked in and he was noticeably limping and things like that. He did return to practice this week. Um, but listen, the high upside that you have with Daryl Williams, I would go with Daryl Williams. I understand Richardson, Paul Richardson, especially with Scary Terry out, all of that. He should be a fine play, but Daryl Williams, you got to start. You got to start your Charger or your Chiefs here. Big Travie, what's up, Big Travie? He's still not feeling too well. He'll be with us tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Beasley, Richardson, or Dorsett non PPR. Ooh, I would go Richardson in this case. Listen, Dorsett, I like a lot. I think he was a really good waiver wire ad, and he could have some value. But I'm not super convinced at his targets. He's going to get probably 4 to 6 targets in this game. He has to do a lot with them. He has been doing a lot with them basically through this point of the year. However, I don't like to I don't like to use that as my rule of thumb all the time. So Richardson should see a healthy dose with Scary Terry out. Um, the Giants are giving up a ton to the outside wide receivers. And listen, Beasley is really nice, but if it's not a PPR league, I wouldn't start Beasley. Curtis Samuel or Emmanuel Sanders in flex. This is, Emmanuel Sanders started off really hot. He had a down week last week, and I don't know if you can. I wouldn't bench Emmanuel Sanders right now, just because he had one bad game. He's been solid for your team. Um, Now the matchup's not the best. Hold on. Let me go up here. Sorry, I'm pulling up some other things here. The matchup's not the best for Emmanuel Sanders, but I'm not just going to bench Emmanuel Sanders right now. He's been playing really well for me. I'm gonna roll with Emmanuel Sanders. There's still some question marks for Curtis Samuel. Like, I understand Curtis Samuel performed last week, but it was against the Cardinals, my Arizona Cardinals, and their defense is not good. So I wasn't surprised by the Curtis Samuel thing. B to the U. Thanks, brother. No problem, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Curtis Samuel. Oh, there's another. Yeah, Curtis Samuel and in PPR, I would go Emmanuel Sanders for sure. Let's see. Fitz or Shepard. So Shepard had a really nice game last weekend with Danny Dimes, and I'm going to go. This isn't a homer pick here, but I'm going with Fitz right now because Fitz is super close to getting that, moving into second all-time pass catching. I think that they are going to want to feed him the ball. I think that this is a solid matchup. Listen, Seattle, this isn't the Legion of Boom. They are way different than they were a few years ago. They don't have good. Their corners are solid. They're not the best. So Fitz should be targeted early and often. I really like Fitz there. All right. I made a trade in ESPN, and it says it will go through on Monday at 2 a.m. So before Monday Night Football. Would it take away points if I started someone that's getting traded? It won't. If you're starting someone that's getting traded, it won't go through. You have to put that person on your bench. Do not play them if you want the trade to go through. It'll deny the trade if the player is in your starting lineup. So make sure that you take that person out. You can't play them this week. That's why we always suggest no trade waiver days. Like, let it. You guys agreed on a trade, let it go through. Like this trade delay, we always hated it. We took it off on all of my leagues. There's no trade delay. The moment you make a trade, you make a trade. I would highly suggest you doing that in all of your leagues because it avoids stuff like this where there's confusion and all of that. I don't like having that. So Mark Andrews or Vernon Davis, great question. So Mark Andrews dealing with the foot. You have Vernon Davis against the Giants with a rookie quarterback. So since we know that it's a rookie quarterback and we're not exactly sure what Dwayne Haskins can bring to the table, listen, I understand that the Giants' defense is not that good, and rookie quarterbacks tend to rely on their safety blanket of Vernon Davis, but I'm not going to take the leap to say that I would go Vernon Davis over Mark Andrews right now. I understand Mark Andrews is not 100%, but I would rather die on the stone of Mark Andrews than Vernon Davis. His upside is maybe 8 points, 40 yards, and maybe he falls in the end zone, so 10. where I think that Mark Andrews, I understand last week he only had like 1.5 points or whatever, but I think that his floor is a lot safer than Vernon Davis's, and I think that he also has a higher ceiling than Vernon Davis right now. All right, Demarcus Robinson or Chris Godwin. So Chris Godwin is officially active for this game, correct? Let me check the latest news. There was a question as to whether he was going to be able to go. He was kind of like a late scratch or near late scratch. So in this case, I would go Demarcus Robinson just because I'm not exactly certain how bad God. Like he was already borderline whether he was going to start or not. You have the Kansas City Chiefs who are just constantly putting up points, and I'm going to keep using my Chiefs until Tyreek Hill comes back. Like that's my motto. Why am I going to waste a week and have him on my bench unless I have like really good options over him? I'm gonna keep rolling out these Kansas City wide receivers. Like each week they're going off, so I'm gonna continue rolling with that. Chris Godwin should be better moving forward. All right, Juju Evans, David Johnson, pick 2, full PPR. Michael Thomas is starting wide receiver 1. Last one, yeah. Okay, yeah. Ooh, actually, I understand the hesitation here. B to the U to starting Michael Thomas. He's a beast. But in this case, when you have Juju Evans and David Johnson, I would actually play all three of those guys over Michael Thomas just because of the Teddy Bridgewater downgrade here. And you're safe with guys like Juju and Evans. They can actually step up and produce nearly what Michael Thomas is when Michael Thomas has Drew Brees. Let alone with Drew Brees not being in the game and Teddy Bridgewater, that gives Michael Thomas a lower floor and not as high of a ceiling. And Juju and both Evans both have that. David Johnson, you're going to start. Hollywood or Galladay? I'm going to go Hollywood here. Listen, Galladay has a juicy matchup against Kansas City, but Hollywood Brown, I mean, they're getting this guy the ball anytime he is on the field. They love him there, his speed, all of that. I'm starting to believe in Hollywood like as a really nice wide receiver 2. Right now he's borderline wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. What's up, Draft Room Pod? Thank you, buddy, for joining. Appreciate you. Good luck this week, man. All right, Eric Ebron or Jared Cook. I'm going with Eric Ebron with T.Y. Hilton ruled out for sure. I would go with Eric Ebron. He should see an uptick in targets. Hopefully, I'm rolling him out in a couple of leagues because I have George Kittle on a bye, and Disley was already taken and snatched up. So I'm going with Eric Ebron. I think he could see an uptick in targets over there and be the number 1 touchdown option over there if they get in the red zone. You have Deion Kane, who's question mark in the red zone. You've got, which I love Deion Kane, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong. If he has a monster game today, I would not be surprised. He's very talented. You have Pascal over there. You just Paris Campbell over there as well. He could have a really solid day. So it's just taking a dart throw as to which one you want. But Eric Ebron over Jared Cook, he has not been used. Even with Drew Brees, he wasn't being used. All right, let's see. Do I have... Excuse me, sorry. One last thing. Okay, so it just came out. LaShawn McCoy is good to go for week 4. I'm still fine starting Williams back there. Darrell Williams, I'm still fine starting him with LaShawn McCoy. Even if his ankle, I don't think his ankle's better than 80%, and I don't think they're going to give him a full workload on that one. Also, just want to bring this up. So, a couple things. Vance McDonald, officially doubtful. When players are doubtful for a Monday night game, chances are they're not going to play. They're better likely to not play than they are to play. So if you have Vance McDonald, you need to get him out of your lineup and get a tight end today. Don't risk it. Don't take that chance of being like, oh, I'm going to – because if you are playing heading into Monday night, now you're limiting yourself to like one tight end, and it's the backup tight end for the that they just got from Seattle. So go with a different option if you have Vance McDonald. Put him on your bench. All right, so I also want to touch on the Melvin Gordon news. So there's been a lot of like, how many snaps is he going to get? Which Chargers are startable in a 12-team league? I would do Eckler for sure. Eckler should have a monster game. If you have Eckler, he's going to ride off into the sunset with you. He should have a baller game against the Dolphins. They're saying they're only going to use Melvin in emergency cases. So what that tells me is I think that, well, everyone's going to bench him, and then he's going to have like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's probably what's going to happen. But don't start him. He'll probably get about 6 to 8 touches. That would be my guess, and that would be good enough for about 40, 45 yards, maybe 50. With Melvin, he's supposed to be in really great shape, but you're then super relying on him to fall into the end zone and be the goal line back, which he possibly could be because Eckler wasn't the goal line back. Justin Jackson was. And so I won't be shocked if Melvin has like a 40 to 50 rushing yard day with a touchdown. I won't be shocked, but I'm not going to play him. It's just way too risky. So I will stay away from him. So Keenan Allen, I'm actually, if you're in a deep league and need a starter, Dontrell Inman is actually a very solid dart throw for you today. Or if you're in DFS, Inman should be really heavily played. Listen, they're going to get up early. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be fast. So I don't mind playing Inman. Keenan Allen, you're definitely starting him. He's going to feast. He's our number 1 ranked wide receiver this week. Eckler, and that's about it. All right. Any other questions for me before I jump on? I want to say thank you guys so much again for joining. If you haven't, please go over to YouTube and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate it. And as always, make sure you check us out here live every single Sunday morning at 9. And we will have a brand new episode come out tomorrow. We're going to recap week 4, let you know what happened, in, out, all that. Ezekiel Elliott prediction, I think he is going to finally, he's gotten in the end zone, I believe, only once this year. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to have a monster game today. I'm predicting that he's going to go over 100 yards and have a touchdown, and he's going to add at least 30 yards in the passing game or in the receiving game. That's my bold prediction for today. All right. I think that's it. Oh, one last thing too. AJ Green. So a lot of things are coming out about AJ Green, and it's not looking good. He still is not fully practicing with his team, which is very, very concerning. He's doing it on the sidelines. They're still about a while away. There's no timetable for him to return. This is worrisome. When we first heard about this injury, he was predicted to miss about 4 to 5 games. We're there already, people. We're already getting into the thick of our fantasy season, and A.J. Green is still not available. So this is very, very concerning. I would be concerned if I have A.J. Green. I do have A.J. Green in my dynasty team, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do there because I was counting on him coming back by week 4. All right, that wraps up a couple. Let's see. I'll touch on a couple. Rex Burkhead is active, so if you need him, I don't mind him as a flex play today. He seems to be taking over the Sony Michel role. Shh, don't tell Sony Michel people because they'll freak out and they'll get mad at you. Let's see. Julian Edelman will play versus the Bills, but his snaps will hinge on how he feels. It may take less than his full. He might play less, so just be cautious if you're starting Julian Edelman today. Listen, the Bills actually have a really good secondary, so if you can and you can afford to sit Julian Edelman, I'm going to sit him. Rex Burkhead is a game time decision. He has been ruled active. He does, there is some concern there, but if you need him to be a flex option, I don't mind that at all. Rodney J7, thank you for joining. Nick Romeo, thank you for joining. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't, please go over to YouTube and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us more than you ever know. All right, let's see. And the last thing here, Singletary is ruled out. So if you have to start Frank Gore, not the best matchup against New England's D, who is really, really good. But it's a starting running back. Frank Gore is a beast. He fell into the end zone last week. You're hoping he does the same. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Until next week, I'll catch you later. Check out our new show tomorrow. It's going to be week 4 recap. It will be on our YouTube. All right, guys. Good luck this week. Take it easy, Whisper Nation. I'm Johnny Game Time Hicks with the Fantasy Whispers, and I'm out. Peace.